My brothers and sisters in Christ, today's gospel passage tells us to be as shrewd as serpents and as simple as doves. It's a very short statement, but it is absolutely loaded with meaning as to our proper disposition in the Christian life. What does this mean? Shrewd as serpents. We are given the gifts of reason. God bestows us with the ability to make discernments, to make judgments of reality. Not only judgments on material realities, but also of moral realities, of spiritual realities. We constantly have to see with all of our faculties we've been gifted with as human beings. And so amongst us, we are to be shrewd. We are to be calculating. We are to be, prudent in the usage of all of these gifts and capacities we have as human beings. This also includes the ways in which we depend on God and His providence, but also realize that many of the time He has given us the means by which to accomplish the ends that He wills. We're not just called to be passive people in this life. We are called to be active but cooperative with God's will. And so we combine this with the call to be simple as doves. What does this mean? Yes, we are given these tremendous gifts and capacities, but also called to realize that we are but children in the sight of God, that our powers are as nothing compared to His, that nothing is of any import as compared to the will of God. And so, these are two things we must balance. On one hand, we are called to be completely humble, to realize that we are as nothing as compared to God, that all of our gifts are meager, our will is fallible, our knowledge so little and imperfect, our wisdom pure foolishness as compared to God. And so, this is all true, and yet, as regards the capacities God has given us, we are called to use them to help in creation, but always in line with His will. And so, it must be a disposition of putting ourselves completely on the providence of God, discerning His will, doing all things for His sake, attached to nothing on our part, and yet willing to act and to use the capacities, the gifts we've been given in accordance with His will. And so, this means avoiding the temptation of the extremes. One which is to take over the driver's wheel of my own life and say, I'm in charge, and try to control everything. And the other would be just to check out and be passive, a fatalist approach of whatever will happen, and do nothing. Neither of these is in consistency with our Christian life as disciples. Instead, we must be active, but we must do all things in line with the discernment of the will of God, with the disposition of humility, that all is done for His glory, and nothing in this world is as a drop in the bucket compared to the glory that waits in heaven. May God bless you.